Honestly, there is really nothing particularly special about this object at all. It is simply a collection of various bits of organic plant matter that have become completely and permanently encased deep within the hardened amber resin. This is certainly not any kind of plant material. It is actually genuine ancient fossilized bone. What we are looking at here are 8 tail vertebrae, along with skin and feathers. A rare piece of a dinosaur that very nearly ended up being sold off as a cheap common little pendant. The flow of tree resin ceased a full 100 million years ago, trapping and preserving everything that was nearby. It left behind no mere skeletons or faint, ghostly impressions. Instead, it captured fleeting moments, perfectly frozen, entirely complete, and vivid three-dimensional moments suspended in time. And some of them are still sitting and waiting inside their jewelry boxes, just hoping for someone to come along and take a closer look. Back in 2016, Dr. Li Xing stands before this specific piece of amber, and he immediately notices something that the dealer simply fails to see. He identifies 8 tail vertebrae, preserved mummified skin, and a delicate ring of feathers that are still firmly attached to the ancient bone. There is absolutely no reconstruction here, and certainly no mere impression. The animal itself was preserved at the very moment the sticky resin flowed over its tail, with every single part of its body still attached and perfectly intact. The feathers are so well preserved that scientists were able to see individual feathers in stunning 3 dimensions. And what about the color, you might be wondering? It is chestnut brown on the top and a stark white underneath. And that is certainly not just a mere estimate. That is the precise, actual hue of a creature that wandered through a dense Cretaceous forest over 100 million years ago. The structure of the vertebrae revealed that it was not actually a bird. Modern birds possess a unique set of fused tail vertebrae. It was likely a young dinosaur, about the size of a sparrow, with soft downy feathers instead of flight feathers, perched precariously upon a tree branch. It was still young enough not to know to avoid those sticky resin drops. If Xing had happened to walk into that shop just 1 hour later, the piece would have already found itself a different owner, and that dinosaur would be a simple pendant hanging around someone's neck today. But dinosaurs were certainly not the only things that ancient tree resin took with it. Sometimes it would manage to capture 2 animals at once, right in the middle of a fleeting moment that would prove to be the final one for one of them. We have a spider and a wasp, a rivalry spanning over 100 million years of evolution. The unsuspecting wasp suddenly flew directly into the sticky, waiting web. The spider approached with speed and precision, mandibles wide open, stopping just a single centimeter away. And then a thick resin flows over both of them at once. For over 100 million years, the wasp has been watching this spider attack. Even now, those compound eyes remain perfectly preserved. The moment is frozen, just a second before the end, forever. The spider never actually managed to consume its intended meal. It is the only fossil in the world showing a spider in an active attack on its captured prey. It is not merely hunting, and it is not after the kill. It is caught right in the middle of the struggle. But the resin managed to preserve even more. There are 15 individual threads. You can clearly see the silk. And in the same web hangs a second spider. A problem because orb weaver spiders are loners. 2 in one web means mating behavior, or an early form of social tolerance that no one expected for that time. Both were captured in that fleeting moment, when a wasp truly believed it might still manage to get away. And somewhere deep within that forest, at that very same time, a brutal war was raging, a conflict that has not ceased to this very day. We see 2 ants here, belonging to 2 entirely different species. One holds the other's head firmly within its powerful mandibles. That is certainly no mere accident. That is not just a coincidence of the fossil record. That is war. frozen in time at the very moment one side emerged victorious. Animals that live their lives alone do not fight each other. Instead, they simply avoid one another. Social ants have been engaged in warfare for at least 100 million years. Before this recent discovery, it was believed to be only 20 million years. This remarkable discovery pushes the evolutionary clock back by 80 million years. Preserved within this same amber are queens, soldiers, and workers, all recognizable by their distinct shapes and behaviors, with some of them locked in conflict against one another. Much like modern ants, they would raid foreign colonies, steal their larvae, and keep them as slaves. It is quite obvious that their ancestors did as well. The massive Great Ant War has been raging on since the Cretaceous period. Formal peace negotiations have not even been called for as of yet. A single tick, fully engorged with blood, remains firmly attached to a fossilized dinosaur feather. This serves as the first proof that feathered dinosaurs built nests and battled the same parasites that plague our modern birds today. However, within another specimen recovered from those same deposits, we find something far more difficult to simply forget. It is an ant pupa with a strange fungal stalk sprouting directly out of its back. Ophiocordyceps, the fungus that turns ants into zombies. It infects the animal, takes over its nervous system, forces it upward, makes it bite down with its mandibles, and then grows out of the body to scatter spores. Anyone who's seen The Last of Us knows the principle. But you see, this is not a script. This has been going on for at least 99 million years. The infected pupa lay there all alone, with no nestmates anywhere nearby. The colony isolated the infected before the fungus could spread. Social hygiene was standard practice back in the Cretaceous. The fungus attempted to make its way toward the colony. The colony recognized the threat and took immediate action. The fungus then refined and perfected its complex strategy. The ants have perfected their methods of defense. Neither side has ever truly emerged as the winner. Both of them simply continue to fight on, in every forest and on every continent for 100 million years. Amber does not preserve these fossils. It really preserves the seconds. And whatever transpired during those fleeting seconds would have been lost to time forever had it not been for this. 100 million years of ancient warfare, hunting, parasites, and care, frozen in the exact moment the resin ceased its flow. The vast majority of these treasures have yet to be discovered. Perhaps it is sitting on a shelf in some shop at this very moment. Perhaps someone is looking at it, believing it to be nothing more than common plant material.